All right. Hi, I am Susan Pinneke, your special guest host. I think that's kind of funny when I kept reading that I was the very special guest host. Coming to you live from West Des Moines, Iowa. And some of you might know why suddenly West Des Moines, Iowa is famous. Anyone know that? No women's basketball fans here? We are the home of Caitlin Clark. All right. Before I turn it over to Rob McDaniel to talk to us about the first AVA cruise, I would like to put in a little plug for attending the convention in April in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And when you register for that, there is a little box that said, I would love to volunteer. Please check that box. I am your volunteer coordinator and I will need lots of hands to get that convention running smoothly. So now, let's turn it over to Rob. Hi,
Right.
Rob.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to come on here and promote our AVA's first fundraising cruise. We weren't sure what we would expect from us. We've heard people that want to go on a cruise. We heard people that were not enjoying cruises or the large ships. Um, so we came to a understanding that there is enough interest out there to do this cruise, and to the tune of 90 plus people are going on this particular cruise. I'll start my presentation.
Rob, you're
Pardon?
a little bit soft. I think some people might be having a challenge.
A little bit soft. All right, how do I turn up? Let's turn up some. Can you hear me now?
You're a little louder.
All right, let's go to the
Yeah, you
slide.
sound good.
Okay. All right, how we look there? All right, so we're talking about
Looking good.
November. Pardon?
I said looking good.
Okay. So we call this cruise Walking Ways with AVA. Called it several things, but we landed on this one. November 15th through the 22nd, we're going to go out in New Orleans. And this became how people are saying two things at once. This was started out as a fundraiser, and then it went into let's do a fundraiser, veterans, honoring our veterans as well. So it became a Veterans Day thing, Veterans Day week. 15th to 22nd, 2025, we're going to start with a couple pre-walks and all that. But to tell you who I am, I'm a lifetime member of AVA. I used to be the former Southeast Deputy Regional Director, and I was a founder and president of the Upstate Pathfinders in Greenville for 12 years. Until family history and my major neck surgery, both knee replacements, forced out of work, and went into a long recovery bout with a little bit of darkness, lost desire to do anything. And then I finally got around and saw a sign, I know the yard, Vets Helping Vets. And I saw how I can get out there and help people, and I wouldn't have to walk forever or do many things. And I couldn't at the time. So I got involved with that. And during the Vets Helping Vets, a thought of fundraising came up. And I came across something from my late son-in-law. His former boss sent me a link about travel. So I remember something about travel, and I found out how we could do fundraising, thinking outside of the box, and do a cruise and benefit AVA, nonprofit organizations, and also give good perks to our travel group. Um, so that's how I got started in this business. Now I have two icons there. I started out New Vista Enterprises LLC, but then my focus is helping nonprofits groups fundraise. So I became No Wake Zone Travel, and that's my new logo. So I'm in the middle of branding. So if you see the two, don't get confused. All right. This is one of our t-shirt designs I put out there. We got 4 going. The fundraising cruise, and I got something in my way here. Let me take this out. All right. This is our first cruise, the 7-day cruise out of Western Caribbean, out of New Orleans, excuse me, to the Western Caribbean. We're going to go Cozumel, Mexico, Roatan, Honduras, Harvest Caye, Belize, and Costa Maya, Mexico. And I spelled Mexico wrong on there. Again, honoring our veterans. So we go to these ports, and I had people asking me, well, it'd be interesting to go if we could do walks at these ports. And all of a sudden, our mid-American, Craig Gower, he stepped in and has all this experience. I'm going to let him take over a little bit to tell you about the walks in these destinations. Again, the 7-day Caribbean cruise starting out in New Orleans. We have walks. We're going to do pre-cruise walks. Helen Hall from the Texas Trek Inc. Club has 2 year-round walks. So you have the Garden District and the French Quarters. On the 13th of November, we're going to walk a 5-10K of the French Garden District. Rest of the day is yours to do whatever you want, sightsee and everything. We're not going to force you to stick you around, keep you around us all day long. We do have people in this group that do not like to walk, but they're going in support of their family, friends, AVA, fundraising, veterans, and so forth. So we're not forcing them to do the walks either. So we have the 2 walks, Garden District and then the French Quarter, followed up by a meet and greet. We're going to do that at the city park. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, so my slides. So let's go in here. These are the locations and destinations. And I want to give a big thanks, I mean, really a big thanks to Craig, because Craig said he stepped in, he had the experience, because I didn't know how we were going to get IDD credit walks in foreign countries. And he stepped in and said, I'll do it. And he's been on it. So Craig, if you want to take over and tell them about the walks, please do.
Yeah, excuse me. We were in Cuba this last year, and I got a hold of the IVV office in Germany and said, how do we do this? And it's really easy to set up a walk overseas. Of course, you've got to know where you're walking. If you're going to bring a group, you've got to set up the route ahead of time. But with the mapping systems available nowadays, that's getting a lot easier, and you can use that pedometer .com website to make sure the distance is correct. So I started setting the walks up already. I've got plenty of time though. You know, we got 11 months to go, but I'll have them all set with at least a 5K. Some maybe 6 or 7, depending on if we can see something interesting that's close enough. And if somebody wants twice that distance, they can just walk it twice. Yeah, it's like Rob said, it's supposed to be fun. So if you want to walk that day, great. If you don't feel like walking that day, then you know, don't do it.
But Craig, you said you're going to sit up somewhere to stamp books?
Sorry?
You were going to set somewhere on the ship to stamp books?
Yes, we'll figure that out once the ship's set up. In the past, most all ships have like a lounge area where people play cards or put puzzles together or do whatever. I'll just make people aware that where that is, and we'll be available anytime. I plan on getting a list from Rob of everybody's name, so I'll have all the sheets ready to go. All you got to do is sign the waiver and pay. You can pay it for all at once, or you can pay each time, whatever floats your boat. And if you don't want to walk that day, then we can just line you out. And that's, I think, is the easiest way to do it. Have it all ready to go, rather than everybody trying to pull out an address label or write their name or do all those other things.
He said there's walks that we were doing. We're doing the pre-cruise walks, 13th and the 14th, and then the meet and greet at the city park. The design on the right there is another t-shirt design that we're looking at. All by the help of AI, helped me do all this. But the city park meet and greet, what I got going on, we've got a special event that we're going to do there. We're looking into a shrimp boil put on with the jazz band coming there and performing for us and do a military tribute, because we've had both military, American and Canadian veterans on the cruise with us. So we want to honor those, and it's all in the theme of Veterans Day. But all these walks will qualify towards your special program, Welcome American Veterans Challenge coins for those who are participating in that. And that's the program. When we talk about the fundraiser, you know, it's a little hard to get the thought across the table to our leaders, but with leaders, they're always looking for new ways to think outside the box than the old traditional way of raising money. You know, time, resources, manpower, all that. So this is a way that we can help. And I found out that all we need AVA do, and all our members going on here, is help me advertise, because I take care of all the logistics. Well, Craig is taking care of the walks. And then I did the bookings, I did the travel protection, I get all that set up for people to take advantage of and connect to. And then all we have to do is go have a good time. And we're out there with people that like-minded, AVA walkers, love to walk, love to be around people. And we love to support our organization. For our people that are going, here's the promotion. You're like, well, what do we get? Free at sea package, group promotion. To start out down here at the bottom, you get $125 per person deposit. All this is refundable by January. I mean, that's the deadline, January 21st. Everything's refundable up to July the 1st of 2025. All payments, you want to make additional payments to the final payment, all that's refundable up to that date, and then they start taking a little bit back. But for the cabin guests, if you're in a balcony or above, you'll get all 4 choices of either Group A or all 4 of Group B. So the Group A comes with it says free at sea. The cost is free for the beverage packages. The cost is free for the dining package, but they charge you tax on that, 20% gratuity, and that's to be paid up front. Over on the right, there's no additional cost. You get a $100 cabin credit. There's a 10 photo package, one $50 shore excursion discount per port, and then 150 minutes of free Wi-Fi, or you can combine it all to one person. So this is what's in for you, as well as guests 3 and 4. They are discounted into a cabin fare. So if you have guests 3 and 4 or solo, I will have to call that day and get the pricing for that. Here's the current rate that we have for our cruise. The balcony, club balcony, $26.94. Divide that by 2. Would be your individual cost. Balcony cost is $24.78 divided by 2. Interior $18.50, and then again, you know, based on availability, guests 3 and 4. And with AVA, what they get, that was just the group. AVA gets starters. Norwegian's going to donate $100 per cabin. We currently have 47 cabins booked. So $4,700 will be going straight back to AVA 30 to 60 days once the cruise completes. There's another portion on here that tour credit is every 5 cabins on Norwegian, we get tour credit. So depending on the most cabins we sell, the average price, it would go back towards AVA's tour credit. And then on top of that, my connection and my lifetime membership, I'm giving part of any commission. I get 30% of that back to AVA as well. And that was a full, fast, and unrehearsed presentation. Any questions? And we still on here?
Yeah, Rob, I have a question.
Okay.
How do I make a payment? Because I gone into my account and I can't see any way to make a payment.
Okay. On the payments, I'll go in there and send a link. I'm trying to get all the, before I start sending everything out, getting all the hotel prices in, the insurance quotes for those that want protection. I'll send you a link, and I will send it. I was getting everything updated as well, all the email blasts, emails on Facebook, finding out who wants on Facebook, who doesn't want on Facebook. So I'll send out links and you guys can keep that. And then I'll set up your account with a password and your login. If that way you can go that way as well and access at any time, but the link will happen, okay?
So right now I do have an account I can sign into, but I can't
I
pay.
have to give you, you have a link. I'll send you a link. Let me get back on here. Is this Leslie? It sounds like
Yeah,
Leslie.
it's Leslie.
Okay, I can't see anybody.
Just send me the link. That's
There you
fine.
go. There you go. Okay. So yes, I'll send you a link and I'm gonna send everybody a link. All right.
All right. Because I don't want to have to pay it all in one lump.
No, and that's why we book so far out to give people opportunity to pay piece by piece and get more discount. Any other questions?
Yeah, Rob, if we didn't book a balcony, how do we get the Wi-Fi? What is included if you're not in a balcony type?
Oh, balcony. Thank you. Good question. You get 2 choices of the 4. So either side, you can get the Wi-Fi. Say you go group B, you don't like the alcohol, don't want the specialty dining. There's plenty of food options out there on the cruise, and you won't be cheated by not going to the specialty dining areas. Some of them are better than going to those. The drinks are all available. You got fountains and stuff like that, and juices. You can pay as you go. If you want the Wi-Fi, that's on both Group A, Group B. With the interior, I would choose, if you're going Group B, I would choose the $100 onboard credit and the Wi-Fi. If you're going to be walking the ports already, $50 per port may be a discount off of an excursion. So I would go those 2 benefit you the most.
What I mean is we're going to be in an interior berth. What packages are there for the interior?
You saw, let me go back to Group A. Let's go back to.
Well, those were all balcony.
Well, that's for all categories, but if you do balcony,
all categories.
Yes, if you do balcony or higher, you get all 4 choices of Group A, or you get all 4 choices of Group B. Is that up there?
No, your picture's up there.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Leslie is up there.
Going back to share. Okay. So yes, if you go interior, you'll get you can choose either two of the 4, either side. 2 of the 4.
Okay, so we can choose 2. That's good.
2 of the 4. And then when you're on ship, you want to do the NCL, or before you get on ship, NCL app, which is going to help you on board, keep in touch with people, text and all that. And that may not cost you anything as well. All right, minutes.
Hey, Rob, this is Susan. So if I want, information on this, you can send me some information. I can look through all that's available to me, right?
Yes, I can send you a link, and I'll send a link to everybody, a booking link. First will be the landing pages, details on everything. I've been posting on AVA's website, AVA's Facebook page, excuse me, not website. So it's there, and once you're interested, I'll invite you to the private Facebook page, and when you'll see everything that you need to know.
I'm not a Facebook person.
Oh, that's fine. Email, you'll get an email.
All right, awesome.
Okay. That was really quick, and
all right. Do we have any other questions? All right. It sounds fun. I mean, you're going to give us hotel information so we can
yes.
take part in the pre-events and all
Yes, the
be like
hotel-
together for that.
Hotel information's coming along. I got 3-4 3-star hotels that I'm working with to give us make sure they have overnight parking. None of them have a shuttle service, so I have to get a shuttle service to get us from hotel to the port, because some of them are 0.4 miles, others are 0.89, the hotels. So I have to get that set up to get us over to the port, hotel, back and forth. And then long-term parking, most people are driving in. That's another concern.
I don't think I want to drive myself, but other
And
people
Amtrak-
probably will. Yeah.
Amtrak's available too. That's about 0.8 miles from the location.
Rob, this is Carl.
Hey, Carl.
I thought I saw someplace, I could be mistaken, but was there something planned for after we return to port as well?
No, not coming back. I didn't have anything set up for that.
Okay,
On the 22nd, we get back at port about 8 in the morning. Most people want to head to hit the road, be well rested, and then, or they may stay over. If you want to stay over at the hotel, you need to extend it. You'll get a link for the hotel and you'll just be able to let them know.
okay, all right. Just want to make sure because we're probably going to be driving and then make a very long trip out of it and head up to see relatives for Thanksgiving and all of that. So I just wanted to get the timing down post-cruise.
On the special meet and greet, there's a gentleman, his dad's a retired Air Force up in the Greenville area, upstate Pathfinder. He's a petty, is that how they call it? Petty cab. So he's going to offer, I think it's 1 to 3 hours, 4 to 6 people in a pedicab if you want to go around. And he's been doing it for 13 years. I think he said like $100 for the ride per hour. You divide that by the number of people. So that will be available if people want to get around that way.
And there is a New Orleans year-round for next year if somebody wanted an extra walk before or after the cruise.
Yeah, we're hitting that one year round when we go out. So yes, you can do it on a. And you got some in the area of Baton Rouge and I forgot where else.
Shreveport.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not setting up a special walk. You're doing the year-round in the French Quarter.
That is correct.
But the garden,
That's going to be a seasonal.
right, because that's not sanctioned yet.
No, she said, not Leslie, Helen said doing as a season for that particular day.
Okay.
And then I emailed a lot of group club POCs to let their people know that if they don't like the cruise, that's fine. They can come and join the walk and, with us, the pre-cruise walks. So it's open to everybody. It's not just they have to go on a cruise. No, it's not a requirement. All right. No more questions. And for those that have signed up, how's sign up been? Pretty good? Pretty easy?
I think someone asked about sign up.
Yeah, I was asking it how, for those that have been on there and already signed up for a cabin, what was it like? Is it a pretty easy process to sign up? The way that works is you go on the link, you get the landing page, you see the details, you're interested, and then you get a book now. Book now is going to take you to an authorization page where you put in your information, what category you want, if there's a guest going with you, how many people, the deposit, your credit card authorization information. I get notified via email, then I turn and send that to Norwegian. I call them directly, but it's not capturing birthday, so I send emails. When I get that, I reach back out to the guest and ask for, are you military? Are you medical or dietary issues? Have you cruised before? Do you have a latitude number? Is this your first time? Do you need CPAT? If you're using CPAT, is there distilled water needs? Stuff like that, and answer questions. And there's a lot of great questions. So.
Hey, Rob.
Yes, ma'am.
Jackie here.
Hey.
So, hi, how are you? Just to clarify, we were thinking about taking the A group, with
Yes,
the
ma'am. Right.
and it comes to about $13.50 approximately for the week.
Okay.
Is that all inclusive, or just to clarify?
No.
Or included in that?
What's included in your price? Divide that by 2. That covers your cabin fare. It covers your Group B amenities. It covers your port fees and your taxes. If you go to Group A, they're going to charge you $152.80 per person for the drink package. If you take the dining, they're going to charge you $19.60 or 80 cents for the dining package. So that's got to be prepaid. So $344.80, I think, something like that, additional to your cost.
Per person,
Yes, ma'am.
per week?
No, one time.
Okay.
Isn't there a daily tipping you have to pay extra?
You have that. That's part of the prepaid service charges. If that's what you're talking about, cabin maintenance and all that, the tipping. You can prepay that on board. I mean, you can prepay that before getting on the board, or you can pay that on board. That's the $140 per person, which breaks down to $20 per day of the cruise links.
So the regular dining room is not included and we have to pay for dining?
No, ma'am, that's there. You got all the buffets, regular dinings, all that. This is the specialty ones. You
Okay.
know, the was it? I'll have to get the names for them again.
Oh.
Anything that says a la carte, where you have to pay to and make a reservation,
Mhm.
that costs. Those are specialties. But you have a lot of options, buffets and side bars and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
So,
you can get 2 dining packages, right? Twice dining.
okay.
I think that'll be.
Right,
Oh.
Rob, there is a question in the chat. It says, did you want to explain the $250 donation and room credit to AVA? Is that still available for people that have yet to sign up?
The $250 is for your deposit for 2 people to 1 cabin. That doesn't go to AVA. That $250 is $125 per person for deposit. That goes towards your final payment. The cabin credit to AVA, every cabin we get is $100 going to AVA. So we're at 48 cabins. That's $4,800 minimum that's going to AVA from Norwegian donating $100 per cabin. The cabin credit, every 5 cabins, we get 1 TC credit, which they take the average cabin fare and return that back to our group. I'm working with Henry on how he wants to do that. So it's a little complicated on that, so I won't go in details on it. But yes, we're still available. You can make your deposit all the way up to January 21st for $125 per person, which is equivalent to $250 when you sign up. I hope I'm not confusing you. I'm known to do that.
Okay, last call for questions. I see that Julian has joined us, so we'll be ready to hear from Fleet Feet in just a second. I also want to mention at the end of the Fleet Feet presentation, we will be holding the drawing for the winners of the Big Give prizes. And we have 2 convention registrations, 1 for an individual, 1 for a club. We have 5 starting point books for individuals and 3 sanctions for clubs. So we have 10 prizes to draw for this evening. Julian, are you ready?
Hi, I am
Hi.
ready.
I'm glad you're here. All right. You're gonna tell us about the free benefits Fleet Feet offer and the importance of good shoes, I guess. I drive right by one of your stores all the time, so I am very interested in hearing what you have to say. I'm
Absolutely.
turning it over to Julia now.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. And can everybody see this all right?
Well, it's flat. Oh, there you go.
Alrighty. So yeah, as you heard, my name is Julian. Last name is Estrada. I've been with Fleet Feet, back with Fleet Feet now for the last few months, but I've been in the running industry for about 10 years. And so, yeah, I've worked with many companies, Brooks, New Balance, Fleet Feet a couple times. So I'm very excited to show y'all our presentation and what Fleet Feet can provide for you. So as we can see here, what we will tell you about is who we are, what we do, and how we can help y'all. So first, Fleet Feet was founded in 1976 by two women, Sally Edwards and Elizabeth Jansen. And for the last 45 years, we went from one store in Sacramento to 250 stores across 40 states. And so we've really cast this large net to make sure that we can help everybody, not just runners. And as you know, some people might see on our stores, we're categorized as a running store. I can tell you from 10 years of experience, 90% of the people that walk in our stores are walkers. All right, so we do have local leaders and we work with a lot of local communities. So everybody that you see in these stores are people that live here in San Antonio, typically are raised in San Antonio. And my job as the community outreach manager is to work with all the local communities here in San Antonio, whether it's run groups, walking groups, local press events. We just want to get the name out there and get these services out here so that everybody can get the right fit. So some choices that we have here. We have our 3D fit scanner, which we'll have in every store. And when you go into this, one of our stores, we're going to have you step on the scanner. It's going to give you a 3D image of your foot and let you know every measurement that you could possibly need to get the right fit. After that, we'll put you on a dynamic pressure mapping and have you walk across a little mat that will tell you your pressure points, if you're rolling your ankles inwards or outwards. And then we'll have a short interview process to ask you what's going on. Are there any type of injuries or pains that you're having? What kind of shoes are you looking for? What kind of experience are you looking for? And the best part about all of these services that we provide, it's completely free. And that's something that you can get in every single one of our stores. And I know that you guys travel everywhere, walk everywhere. So I definitely encourage you, if you're here local to San Antonio, or if there's a Fleet Feet in your area, go check it out, because you can really learn a lot about yourself and about the type of shoes that you need. All right, so when it comes to fitting shoes, this is a fun fact, and everybody's usually pretty shocked by this. 63 to 72% of people are usually in the wrong size, so not their correct size. Most people, when you tend to go fit a shoe, think when your toe is close to the edge, it's fine. You really want a thumb's width between the toe of the shoe. So just think of rule of thumb. You always want that thumb's width between your toe and the edge of the shoe. That's going to allow your feet to swell and move without hitting the edges of the shoe. And as we get into, summer months in some places, as it gets hotter and more humid, your feet can swell more. If you are someone that has natural swelling, that's going to help make sure that you're not hitting the edges of the shoe, getting types of sores. One other thing we need to look out for, if you take in a lot of sodium can also make you swell, and your feet will swell anywhere from a half size to a full size, depending on, your body. And some of the benefits from getting correctly fit shoes is going to be improved posture, reduced risk of injuries, overall comfort, enhanced mobility. And yes, as you can see, it's very confusing. It's a lot of information. And when you come into one of our stores, the employees are there to help you and try to explain to you as in-depth as possible so that you understand, what you're getting into and what you're buying. So some stuff that you can avoid by getting the correct fitting shoes, blisters, corns, calluses, plantar fasciitis, hammer toes, ingrown toenails, bunions, ulcers, all the fun stuff, the list of fun stuff that at some point everybody might have, in their life. One of the big things that I really try to let people know is not only is a good fitting shoe important, but a really high quality sock is going to be your best friend. Now, the socks that we have in store are socks you really won't find in many other places. Typically anywhere from $16 to $20 per pair. And yes, that may sound like an incredible amount, but it's really not. It's a great investment for the future. You have cotton socks after a few washes, they get real rough. They tend to stretch out and they don't really fit your foot the same. With the socks that we have in store, those are all going to be fully synthetic socks. So they're going to be great for wicking away moisture, reducing the amount of friction that you have. So that's going to help with blisters and calluses. And then we actually have plantar fasciitis socks as well that help support your plantar fascia that runs underneath the bottom of your foot there. All right, so some crucial pieces to the overall perfect fit. Like I said just a second ago, socks are going to increase comfort and decrease chances of blisters. Every single sock we have, if it's not a higher sock like a quarter or a crew sock, is going to have a tab on the back of it to make sure that you don't get any blisters on your heels or your Achilles. Inserts are going to add a lot of really good comfort and support, and it really help extend the lifespan of that shoe. Now, inserts can be a little bit tricky, so this may be one of the longer portions of a fit when you get into one of our stores. Every person's body is going to be different. Sometimes your arches are going to be different in how they flex and how high they are and how wide they are. So it's going to be really good information for you to come in and get fitted and figure out what's going to be your ideal fit. All right, so a few other things we can talk about here. Really what you want to do when going into one of our stores, you want to listen to your body. You want a shoe that feels supported and relaxed. You don't want it to be tight on your foot. You don't want anything to strangle your foot. You don't want a heartbeat in your foot. I know a lot of people think the tighter the better. That in your mind can register as feeling secure. And one thing to recognize is not all shoe brands are going to fit the same. So you can wear different sizes and different brands. You may be a size 8.5 in a New Balance and a size 9 in a Brooks. So make sure that you are open-minded when coming into one of our stores, and always give yourself the chance to try out new things because it will benefit you in the long run. All right. So do you still need help, or have you found a solution? Fleet Feet is going to have solutions for pretty much everybody. We try to help people in their careers and their abilities, age, activities. We're here to support everybody across the board. So if you ever have any questions or just want friendly advice, always come into one of our stores and we'll be more than ready to help you out. Do you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything like that? Going once, going twice.
I was gonna say, Rob, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Julian, for a good pair of shoes and somebody that's in our group that walks a lot, how long would a pair of shoes average that you should change out?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So when it comes to shoes, it's kind of going to depend on the person, what your activity is going to be like, what type of material are you walking on. Is it a shoe that's used purely for walking, or is it something you're using during the day as well? So if it's a shoe that you're using for walking only, it's going to last a little bit longer. If it's a shoe you're using as a daily shoe and a walking shoe, it's going to wear out a little bit quicker. So the standard lifespan of most shoes is going to be anywhere from 200 to 500 miles. And that's going to come depend on a few different factors. So if you're in the correct type of shoe, it should really be closer to 3 to 500. And usually that's anywhere from 4 to 8 months of normal use.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Alright.
Any other questions?
All right, we have a question in the chat. And the lady asks, I wear a 4X on New Balance shoes. Do you have an equivalent size?
Yeah, so New Balance is one of the rare cases where they go to like extra wides. You'll be able to find some of those shoes in some brands, depending on your size. If you wear like an 8.5 women's, you could go to a men's 7. And so in a women's 4E, you would do a men's 7 2E, and that should suffice in the size, giving you a little bit more room across the toe box. But as I said earlier, every shoe brand runs a little bit different. So it's definitely important to try out the different sizes and different brands. Which model are you currently in for the New Balance?
DB, could you? All right, I guess they're not gonna share. I have another question that asks you to name one brand of socks that you carry.
Yeah. So my favorite brand is going to be Features, and that's going to be Feetures. So Feeters. The other brands we have are going to be Belega, Right Sock, and a couple other ones like CEP, which is a medical grade compression sock that you can use as well. But we'll have plenty of options, and every single one of those brands will come in thin, medium cushion, high cushion to give you different options, different variations depending on what your preference is. And we also have try-on socks in store so that you can figure out what you're gonna like before you spend, 16 to 20 bucks on a pair of socks and you're like, oh, this doesn't work.
Thank you on that. And then I do have a shout out for you. Julian, thank you. I frequent the Fleet Feet in Madison, Wisconsin. I love the Belega socks I get there, and the Brooks works for me.
Awesome. Sounds great. I was a Brooks tech rep for about 2 years, and so I'm a big Brooks fan for sure.
Do we have any other questions? Are there any Fleet Feet stores in New York? Go with New York. New England.
New England.
New England.
There's a bunch of
All
different
right.
news. I'm not entirely sure on that. So what you can do is go to fleetfeet.com, and in the upper left or upper right corner, there should be an option for you to pick locations, and you'll put your zip code in there, and it'll show you the nearest store near you. That way you can see if there's something close to you. If not, I definitely recommend looking up local specialty running stores near you because they're going to provide some similar services that we have. May not have all the technology, but they will have a lot of similar knowledge if you can't have access to us.
That probably covers Las Vegas too. So do you carry Hokas?
We do. Hoka is one of the biggest brands that we carry in Fleet Feet. So no matter where you go, any Fleet Feet in the country, there's going to be a Hoka there for you to get.
And someone has said there used to be a Fleet Feet in Connecticut. So we do have one in New England that we now know of. I have a thank you for the information, and I have an insole recommendations. Do you have some insole recommendations?
Absolutely. So there's two main insole brands that Fleet Feet will carry. that will be Superfeet and Curex. My own preference, I recommend Curex for anyone that is looking to get into an insole, because it's going to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit easier to start out with. That way it doesn't cause any foot cramping. I'm not going to recommend a specific color of the Curex because, like I said, everybody's feet are going to be different. So when you go into one of our stores and you get your feet scanned, that's going to tell you how high your arch is, and then based on the shape of your knees, the outfitter will pick a specific insole for you to put in that shoe, and you'll be all good to go.
All right, that is, and I am assuming that there's a similar person to you, community outreach and Fleet Feet stores everywhere?
Correct. Yeah. So there will be a community outreach manager for every um, chain of Fleet Feet stores all across the country. So no matter what, you can get a hold of one of us.
All right, awesome. Any other questions? Okay, I guess it's drawing time. So Julian, thank you so much. That was very interesting, and that now makes me feel comfortable to go into that Fleet Feet store and try some shoes. Would you please pick two numbers between 2 and 67?
2 and 67.
2
Okay.
and 67.
I have to go with my favorite number 3.
3.
And then I'm gonna go with my mom's age. Let's go 53.
All right, we just won't let your mom know. You just told all of us that your mom is 53.
It's
All
all right.
right,
She's
thank
gorgeous, though.
you. Rob, I'd like to thank you and Craig also for your presentations. That was very interesting on the cruise. And you have put a link into the chat for people. Thank you for that.
My
Rob, would
email
you
address too.
please pick two numbers between 2 and 67 that are not 3 or 53?
Number 9, the
Okay,
natural, and let's go with 62.
62. All right. So now I'm going to pick on a couple AVA officers. Leslie, will you please pick two numbers between 2 and 256? You're still muted.
17.
17,
And what was the second number you said?
256.
Oh my
A
goodness.
wide variety there.
110.
110. All right. Carl, I know you're on the line. Would you please pick two numbers between 2 and 256?
42
42,
and 201.
201. Okay, and Craig, thank you for setting up those walk routes. Will you please pick two numbers between 2 and 256?
44
44,
and 144.
144. Okay, so drum roll. The winners are, if I can do this now. Oops. There we go. All right. Our club winners are the Buffalo Pathfinders in Buffalo, Wisconsin for a sanction. The Texas Volksport Association for a sanction. The Delta Tool Truckers for a sanction. And the convention registration winner is West Texas Trail Walkers. It's the biggie. All right, individual winners. Dana Beals from San Ramon, California for a Start Point book. Teresa Caswell from Clinton, Maryland for a Start Point book. Sally Clark from Danville, Virginia for a Start Point book. No, sorry, I have a little helper here. Or we have, all right, we have to choose one more number because we have no 110. All right, 44. And Ed McCabe from Dripping Springs, Texas gets a Start Point book. And our convention registration winner is Herbert Swanky. I think he goes by Mike from San Antonio, Texas. All right, who's out there that I can pick on? All right, I know. Oh, all right, Carol, one of my fellow RDs, Carol. I can't pronounce your last name. Just thinking, could you pick a number between 2 and 267? All right, I see you're unmuted, but I'm not hearing
okay?
anything. What was
Let
that?
me turn myself up a little bit, maybe.
Okay,
Can you hear me now at all?
I can hear you now.
Okay, 122.
122. Okay, let's see who the lucky Start Point book winner is on that one. Lorraine Johnson from Orrville, Ohio. So those are our lucky winners. And Mike Swanky and the West Texas group are the lucky convention registration winners. So they're probably happier than the sanction or Start Point book winners, but those are great prizes too. You can see the thousands of walks in the US in those Start Point books. They're kind of fun just to look through. All right, any questions from anybody on anything that I can maybe answer?
What about next year? Are there walks going to be, are there webinars going to be set up for next year?
Good question. Don't know.
Yeah, we plan on continuing.
I am guessing so. I'm sorry, Hector, you can answer that. Yeah.
Yeah, we plan on continuing the webinars for next
Okay.
year.
We
All
just
right.
have to do a new request for registration on it.
Yeah,
We have to sign up again.
yeah, I don't know. You know what? I can't remember what I set this one up for, but yeah, I can look at it to make sure to see.
Yeah,
But if not, then
because I got the thing for every month and then it ends
yeah,
this month, doesn't go next year.
yeah, I don't know if I set it up indefinitely or just for the year, but I can look into it or get a new link for it set up.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Hector.
Anything else that I probably can't answer? Craig? No?
I just like the way you put that.
All right. All right, well then I'm going to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah or whatever holidays you celebrate. A wonderful next couple of weeks of celebration, fun, friends, family. And remember, when you register for the convention, which you all should definitely do, check the box that says, I would love to volunteer. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.